All right, let's keep going. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're first game of the arena. Could he not move into a dorm? I don't know, but it probably would have been difficult. So anyway, yeah. Okay, here we go. Game number 1 of the arena. We get E4 here from my opponent. Now, they're really, as I've said before, I think the only 2 openings that you should play as a pure, well, not only 2, but probably E5, C5, or C6 are the only 3 first moves I recommend. I don't really recommend anything else, so I'm gonna play C5 in this game. I think E5, C5, and C6 are the only 3 moves you should ever consider on move 1 versus E4. And I think the dragon is a very good beginner opening. Objectively, you have to know a couple tricks, like there is the classic 11 fish with F4, but in general all the Sicilians tend to blur together. French, I don't think French is a good opening as a beginner. Like as a true beginner, French I think is one of the worst openings. That being said, the earliest game that I ever remember playing, by the way, earliest game that I ever remember playing of chess was a French opening. It was a French. So I guess from that standpoint you could play it, but anyway. Okay, I'm gonna go knight 6 g6 bishop g7 here and keep it going. But yeah, so let's go e6 and knight g7 here, maybe a6 next move. So I'm gonna go knight g7, maybe play d5 d4 here, try to play in the center of the board. We get queen d2. He wants to go bishop h6. Now I could play d5 here, but again we're going to try to play for basic themes first. I'm going to play h6 and stop this move. Now d5 with the idea of d4 is a very big threat. You have to be very careful when you get this setup with bishops and knights in the center of the board. You can also get this in the other opening. You can get this in, I think it's the London too, where you get the opposite. You get the bishops on f4 and d3. You have to be careful of an e5 e4 push. So it's just the mirror of e3 c4 versus d3 f4, but you have to be careful of the pawn pushes in such structures. Okay, he goes d4. I will take the pawn, and now I'm going to play a6 here next move. So he takes with the bishop. Knight takes a little bit better, because here after I take, this isn't really something at the beginner level that matters, but as you'll notice I have this bishop on the long diagonal and there's no bishop to oppose, so you can never, this bishop is always sniping the knights and the pawn. It's like, it would be like in what's an example? It would be like in COD if you're inside this inside the where the gas circle is closing, and basically you're just sitting there and sniping, and you can never get rid of the sniper. The sniper just sits there for the whole game. So I'm gonna go a6 to stop knight b5, so he can't go after this pawn on d6, but long term the sniper is going to play here because he can never get rid of it. Now this is something that at beginner level nobody should really worry about objectively, but it is something that at the higher levels is very critical. So all right, we get rook e1. I'm going to castle here. Goes rook d1. Now I'm going to go b5, open up the diagonal for the other bishop here on b7, and then I can bring the rook to the open c line. So we bring the rook to the open c file here, and it's a very, very good position. The two b's are angling here very nicely. Let's see what he does. Again, a big shout out to everybody who's watching on this fine what is it, Wednesday? I guess it's Wednesday morning. Yeah. Oh, he's playing quite well so far. Yeah, it's a very, very good first game. He goes f3. Now again, the themes, put the rook on the half open c file here. Why not? 1600 online is different. Over the board 1600 is intermediate. Online 1600, that's about 1200. Over the board plus minus 400. I would say that's advanced beginner. That's still a beginner, but it's on the advanced side at that point is how I would put it. Obviously there's probably a better way of classifying it, but that's what I would say right off. It's Wednesday. It's Thursday morning in Australia. Okay, it's Wednesday morning here in the United States of America. Now queen f4, again, you got to be careful when you piece in the center of the board because this does walk into a fork. I'm just going to fork the queen and fork the knight. Or I'm going to fork the queen, I'm going to fork the horse. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fork them both. Although I think bestiality is a crime, right? Let's take the knight, or whatever you call it. It's bestiality, I think, is a crime now. Let's take the knight, and Play d5. Goes knight d5. Now again, since I have one extra bishop, I'm happy to just trade everything off the board here. Yes, bestiality is definitely a crime, Hikaru. Okay, yeah, and probably immoral. But what I heard stories in the old days that one of the Russian princesses did something like that. Let's take the pawn on b2. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me go Google it. Oh no, oh no, apparently it's not true. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go d3. No, because I just googled it. It says the story is the one that says Catherine the Great died while trying to have sex with a horse, but the story is just a myth. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, let's go bishop e5 here. And I'm gonna play queen g5 next move. Never mind. Sorry, that might have ruined the video. But anyway, googling about bestiality will put you on a list. Really? Okay. Let's go queen b6 check, and now I'm gonna play d2, and I'm gonna try to use this passed pawn in the center of the board and get another queen. So let's go d2 here. I'm gonna play rook c8 and then rook c1 next move and go from there. So yeah, let's go rook c8. The rooks guard each other. Can play rook c1 next move, maybe queen f2. You're gonna get ads for weird dating sites now. Okay, yeah, really. Here goes queen b4. I'm gonna go queen e3. The idea is just to play rook c1 and use this pawn with the two rooks here and make a new queen, and I should be winning. Yeah, you're gonna be on a list somewhere because of that. I literally don't care, you guys. I don't care at all. Why would I care? I mean, it's like takes and play rook c1. I mean, everybody's spying on everybody. Let's not pretend that that's not happening. But actually the more interesting question, you guys, is okay, I'm gonna just take the rook, play rook c1, get a new queen, and just win the game. The more interesting question is, like, when are we gonna hear them admit that, like, our phones are spying on us? That's the more interesting question. Let's play queen c2 check and take the pawn. Actually, maybe I can just go for a check with like h5 and g5 here. Like, I thought it was hilarious. Like last year when I was in Spain before the candidates started in Madrid, Spain. This is mate in 2. I go check and bishop g7. So I was in Madrid, Spain last year before the candidates. I went by or not Madrid, sorry, San Sebastian, and I went by a violin shop. Or sorry, it wasn't a violin shop. It was a shop. It was a shop that was called Stradivarius. It had nothing to do with violins. But next thing I know, I went by the shop, and then like after that, I just started getting nonstop ads for like Stradivarius violins. Now, mind you, the shop, it was like a shopping area. It was just called Stradivarius. It had nothing to do with like the famous violins. I built a white center here, but basically I just started getting all these ads for like Stradivarius violins. Like, wait a second, I've never searched that on my phone or anything, and now somehow it's like it's like giving me ads for violins. Like, yeah, let's take with a queen. That's geo-targeted. I mean, maybe let's go here, but very disturbing. Okay, so I'm gonna castle here. I build a nice center. Yeah, I've got a nice white center. I've got the two bishops here. My opponent's lacking development, but he should be able to develop his pieces very quickly. I'm the biggest fan, bro. You're insane. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, okay, goes 97. I'm just gonna castle my king. Everything's out of the middle of the board. Free development very quickly. So, ever talked about a song with a friend and then it appears next to Pandora? You mean like Spotify? Yeah, absolutely. That's happened too quite a few times. Yeah, let's go rook d1. Now the whole point of playing rook d1 here is that I'm anticipating him trading the pawn, and I want the rook on the open file. After the view arena, we are going to be covering Aim chess, which is going on. We're gonna have Magnus Marlson versus Norbek Abdustorov. Okay, let's go knight e2, guard the pawn here. Very solid move. I also want to play c3 and build a chain of 3. So we're going to be covering we're going to be covering that amazing deals, 20% off Stradivarius violins, only $10 billion and 99 cents. Yeah, let's go c3, connect the chain. I always did want to buy my mom like a nice Stradivarius though. If I could find a Stradivarius for like 50 grand, I'd probably buy her one. So all right, nice chain of 3 here. Maybe e5 here, maybe knight f4, but I think Stradivarius are more expensive than that, unfortunately. So let's go to e5. Now we have to connect 5, connect 4 into connect 5. Museums give them on rep, but none are that cheap. Yeah, they're just a little bit too expensive for me. Impossible to find at that price. I would suspect it's fake. Yeah. Okay, so I've got a nice chain here in the center. 50 million, you're looking for discounts. I'm not worth $50 million, you guys, but at the end of the day, I did buy quite a lot of stock yesterday, and that stock is up 40% this morning. So 40% in one day is not bad. Okay, so we get c5 here. I guess I'll play queen g4. So maybe I am on the road to 50 million, but who knows. Play a3 and b4. So people believe what they read on the internet. Yeah, exactly. Tell me about it, Crispy. Totally. So all right, anyway, let's keep going. But you know what the real question is? The real question is what about Activision? Because weren't there like a bunch of people who bought Activision right before the announcement? Yeah. Hikaru, you're worth nothing. Of course I'm worth nothing. I'm worth like $1,000, $1,750 because I won Title Tuesday yesterday. Yeah. I mean, didn't Warren even Warren bought like Activision at a very sus time, right? I think it was like there were all those rich guys, and Warren also somehow magically bought it like inside that window also. Like pretty nuts. Yeah. Anyway, we get b4 a5. This is a blunder. I played b4, by the way. Getting back to the chess talks, I'm losing my mind a little bit. This is a mistake because he just hangs a pawn. What I was trying to do by playing b4 is I was trying to force my opponent to sort of break the tension, release the tension, and just let it go by either taking on b4 or d4 or pushing c4. He refuses to break the tension, but now he's just down a pawn and he's in some trouble here. So yeah, see what we get. Very good position here. Very good position. I think there's a Walking Dead for the 3-month race. If he takes, I will just take the knight, and now I'm just up a horse, or no, I'm up a bishop. Sorry, let's play rook b1. Take the open lane here for the rook. The bishop guards the rook. A lot of pressure here potentially. Very well placed. Rook on b1. It's queen c7. Let's just take the horse. And I'm just trading down because I'm ahead in material. So again, since I have an extra horse on the board, I'm very happy to simplify the position. Go queen g3, guard the pawn on e5. Any competition or tournaments in the near future? I'll be playing the FIDE World Cup in Baku, Azerbaijan, at the end of this month. So I will be going to I'll be taking a short vacation and going to Byzantium. So I'll be going to Byzantium for a couple of days, and then after that I'll be going to Baku for the World Cup. I'm just gonna play bishop e3, trade some bishops here, and go from there. So that's my plan pretty much. Yeah. I'll be going to Byzantium for a couple of days. Yeah, Byzantium or Constantinople. Let's play rook b5, stack the 2 towers on the open lane to go after this weak pawn on b7. So yeah, that's the plan. Where are we going? Who's driving? Who's paying for the gas? Can we bring bags or other accommodations? Let's play queen f3 and take the pawn. Yeah, I'll be going to Constantinople for a couple of days, and I'll be going to Baku afterwards. Yeah, so that's the plan. Maybe I'll stream from, I mean, I don't know, it's probably too late to get a backpack for IRL streaming, but that would be a thought to me. Try try an IRL stream in Constantinople, but probably not the best idea. Let's play rook b1 and bishop a7. Oh, why are turns in such random places across the world? Ever wonder about being in unsafe areas? Well, I'll give you guys one hot take. Obviously we are American, so it's like we think we can, you know, just put our chests out, strut around, and act like we're the best, and all this other nonsense. I'm gonna go here to remove the rook from b8. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you follow the rules, nothing's gonna happen. Let's just be honest. Like, you don't have to like the rules everywhere. You don't have to like the rules, don't get me wrong. But like, if you don't do anything insane, nothing's gonna happen to you almost anywhere. So like, I do have to say that, like, yeah, just to be honest, like, you know, maybe if I go to Mogadishu, it's a different story, or, you know, I go somewhere like that, maybe it's different. But like, at the end of the day, you go to a place like Baku, you go to Azerbaijan, like, I mean, unless you're gonna go out. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me click new game. Wait a second. Let me close this. Let's click next game. I mean, unless you do something insane, yeah. Like, okay, let's play e4. As I said, my general philosophy for beginners is try to get the bishops activated on both of these diagonals. Have I ever met a billionaire? Of course I have. But I will be honest, I think really rich people are fairly, I mean, I think they're psychopaths, let's put it that way. So I'd much rather go out and get a beer with the viewers than go talk to some billionaire who's like literally talking about the next yacht that they're going to own, or taking over the world, or like living forever because they just put, you know, they put $100 million into some new biotech company that's going to like keep their genes young, or like all this other nonsense. So yeah, knight takes d4. Let's take and develop in the center. I mean, I'm just saying, like, when you hear people talk about like putting like hundreds of $millions or billions of dollars into some, like, they create some company that's like gonna, like, it's about stem cells, or it's about like regeneration, or all these things about living forever, like, I mean, that's just not something that interests me, and never could. Of course, I mean, even if I had that much money, I would never do it. Actually, you know, it's funny you say that. I wasn't referring to Peter Thiel, but I actually have met Peter Thiel. But anyway, I was not referring to him when I was mentioning this, but nonetheless, yes, I have met him. Let's go bishop f4. And I want to castle my king. Quick development here. I can also go bishop c4 and castle to the king side as well. But anyway, yeah, so that's the bottom line. Like, the things that interest them have literally zero interest. I have zero interest in. So yeah, get a beer with us. Of course I would, because like I mean, I live in the real world, you guys. I don't live in the Matrix. Let's go f3 here and play bishop e3. That Matrix are out to get us, you know. Can't be listening to the Matrix. Anyway, let's go f3 here. I'm playing f3 to build a chain of 3 in the center of the board. Now he plays h6, so now I'm going to play g4. Pawns guard each other. I'm going to go h4 and g5 next move. This is kind of like a Philidor opening. It is, yes, it is. So no. Would I take a submarine to the Titanic for 250k? Of course I would never do that. Are you crazy? Now I played king b1 because I didn't want to let him trade the bishops off, because I have a lot more space. You see these pawns, like, I've got so much more space here. The pawns are more advanced. He has all his pieces actually on the first 3 rows. He has 2 pawns on the 3rd row, but all the rest of his pieces are on the first 2 rows. I have pieces on all 4 of these rows across the board, so I have a lot more space. So because I have much more space here, I don't want to trade off pieces if I can help it. I want to keep a lot of material on the board, because more space means with more space I can use the extra squares that I have here. Goes bishop f6. I'm going to play queen d2, maybe g5 or knight d5 next move. But so anyway, yeah, to answer your question, I would never do that. What I would do is I've said it before, there are a couple of mountains that I want to go hike someday, in Colorado and elsewhere, where there basically are some leaps of faith, kind of like Only Up, where you basically have to jump from one spot on a rock to another spot. If you fall, you die, obviously. So I'm willing to do that because I control my own destiny and my fate. Like, if I make a bad jump and I fall down and die, so be it. I'm gonna take the pawn and take with the queen here, but being in a submarine where you have no control, it's literally like if something goes wrong, you're just done. I don't know, it doesn't interest me. That does not interest me at all. So yeah, more space means more space. Exactly. Obviously. So yeah, totally. Yeah, goes bishop g5. So we trade. I'm gonna go queen h2, stack the queen and the rook here on the h file, and go from there. Famous chess player plummets to his death after being pronounced a risk taker. Well, luckily you guys have no intention of buying into that scam called life insurance, so I can say these things and it's not a big deal. So I have the queen and the rook stacked here, going for checkmate on the h file. He has 2 moves to avoid more or less losing on the spot or getting checkmated. Very good. He finds one of them. So I will trade. I could trade the queen to take the pawn. You know what I'm going to do though? I'm not worried. I'm going to take the space in the center, target the pawn, go for the checks here potentially. And I don't mind not winning the pawn because I keep an open h file. Surely he's kidding about life insurance. What do you mean? Are you serious? Of course it's a scam. I mean, because like let's be honest. If you believe in yourself, you just invest in the stock market, you'll get a better return. Like if you take care of your health and you think you're going to live to 65, just invest in the stock market, invest in the S&P, and you will obviously come out ahead at the end of the day. It's not mate in 2 here because after check king h8 I don't have my classic Anastasia mate, but I'm going to sack the bishop and try to force him to fall into it. Yeah. Uh-oh, I hung a bishop. Right? So yeah, no, I'm not talking about health insurance. Life insurance is different than health insurance. Life insurance is where you think where it's like you know, if tomorrow something terrible happened to me, then you know, then at least like my family would get money. Yeah. Are we back? We are back, right? Yeah, we're back. Okay. Okay, let me click next game. Let me close. Let me keep going. Let me keep going. Okay, so let's open Spotify and here we go. Let's see, next game. Let me put on some music. There we go. All right. Yeah, okay, so what I was starting to say, you guys, what happened? Yeah, so I was starting to say the internet completely died. The internet completely died, and by that not internet, sorry, my power completely went out. But if power goes out, shouldn't the power come back right away? Shouldn't it be like it flicks for like a split second and comes back? You guys tell me. Because the power was out for like probably a good 3 minutes, and I know it wasn't just my house because I went outside and then I heard a click. I heard a click nearby. So yeah, the power, I guess I don't know what that means exactly, but let's click next game. I should be in the arena. Well, let me refresh the page. Let's click next game and go from there. It depends. Yeah, okay, here we go. Next game. Let's keep going. I need streamer insurance. Yeah, tell me about it. But I thought when power, I don't know what the power is, but like when power goes out, normally it flicks off and then it comes back immediately. And sure, that might kill your internet or whatever and take a few minutes to reboot. But yeah, I didn't think power was supposed to stay out for like minutes, because it literally, the power just stayed out for like, the power was out for like 3 minutes, just straight flat out. I had nothing I could do. Play e6 here. I'm gonna play the queen's gambit declined with d5 next move. Did I hear a big boom? Transformers in my neighborhood. I didn't hear a boom, but I'll tell you what happened. What happened is, it's like when it initially went out, like the lights flickered off, they flickered on, out, on, and then they finally went out completely. So it's like it tried to reboot itself, but it couldn't do it. I've never had it where the power's been out for a few minutes. That's all. It's okay. Anyway, we got knight c3. I guess I'll play c6 here. It's too hot. Well, actually, for those of you guys who are the TT logo still on, sorry, let me turn on the TT logo. Yeah. Okay, let's go bishop d6. Classic pyramid structure here with the bishop inside the structure. Yeah. Not in California, it goes out for hours. Okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys, when I was much younger, this will probably never happen again in my lifetime, but when I was well, maybe it will actually, but when I was much younger, UPS would not help with my computer, you guys. I've spoken to a couple tech people I know, and they basically said the same thing. It's not going to change anything, because at the end of the day, like if the power goes out, the router for the internet is still going to die no matter what. So it's not going to change anything. Now I'm going to take the pawn here. sus account, I don't know, I don't care. But yeah, put your round on the UPS. Yeah, from what I've been told though, if the power actually goes out altogether, it doesn't matter if you UPS, because the UPS is still going to be drawing power from that. But maybe I'm wrong. UPS is only to shut down the computer safely. Okay, let's just take and play knight c5. This account is a little bit weird. Yeah, luckily I don't do anything of use on my computer, so it doesn't matter. It's battery backup. Okay, well, yeah. What happened? I lost power. The power just went out where I live completely. It just went out for like 3 minutes. So like all the clocks, even they went blank. The alarm system went off. Then when everything rebooted, then I had to deal with the smoke alarm start beeping really loudly and annoyingly. But it's what it is. No, because like yesterday, what happened? Yesterday it was or not yesterday, 2 days ago when I had the issue, it was that was just my internet went out. Like I just had an internet issue, but this was just all the power went out. The power just went out completely. So, but I remember the old days, you guys, when I was much younger. There was when was it? There was the I'm trying to figure when it was. Yes, it was August 14th 2003. That's when it was. I remember. And I was in New York, and I remember I actually was playing a lot of chess online back then. I think it was on the chess base server, which was playchess.de. And in the early, maybe it was like mid-afternoon, the power just went out completely. I remember this very well. Power went out, and it was out for basically like 12 hours or something. So there's no power. So literally it was like in the evening when it got really dark, we were literally just sitting out on our balcony with candles, because there was no power at all for like 12 plus hours. So anyway, in Florida, we get the internet going out, the power or both. Yeah, it's Florida. What do you expect? That's just how it goes. So, okay, I'm going to make a check here. I have an extra bishop. I can play bishop d4. It was 2003. It says over 50 million people. It was 50 million people didn't have power. So, yeah, it was pretty insane. Yeah. It depends if the internet provider can hold service without electricity, which is not in my case. Definitely not in my case either. No chance. So he hangs a queen. Oh, I could have made checkmate in one, but it is what it is. So yeah, okay, let's go check and mate. GG. Why not? In India, 50 million people without power is pretty routine. Okay, you guys. Okay, thank you. I needed to hear that. Absolutely. So anyway, we are back. Sorry about the slight hiccup. Hopefully no more hiccups today. That's all I can say. Let's keep going. Okay, we get e4 now. Like I said, 3 moves: e5, c5, c6. I don't really like the French. I'm gonna play e5 this time. This is probably what most beginners learn, is to play the Spanish or the Gucci piano. Let's develop the knight. Let's play standard. I'm worried about takes and knight takes pawn, so I will kick the bishop out of town, and then I'm gonna go bishop e7 and castles. At the more advanced levels, bishop c5 is generally a little bit better. I'll go b4 here, not let him trade the pawns. Go d6, connect the chain of 3. I can just castle here. Rook e1. Okay, let's develop the bishop, pin the tail on the donkey, as we like to say. Play knight d4 here. Can't take the knight due to the pin. Goes bishop c4. Now what do I want to do here is an interesting question. I think I'm going to play c5 and just build this diamond hands formation. Let's go bishop h5. Now g4 is a move, but he's pushing p in front of his king. He's weakening his king side with all these pawn pushes. Generally not recommended at the beginner level. Play h3 and g4. Very much I don't recommend it unless you absolutely have to. Goes knight f1. I'm gonna play knight d7. I'm gonna try to use these Swiss cheese dark holes on the king side and win the game. This is why you don't want to push these pawns, because he's just created these huge holes on f4 and h4 that I can use. Aim chess in 15 minutes. No, it starts at 11:15, so it's more like half an hour, but we will be covering it obviously. So yeah, once again, sorry you guys about the power going out, but it's probably the first time I've had the power go out here where it stayed out. Like it went out. I'm like, okay, it's gonna come back, and then after like 30 seconds I'm like, wait a second, the power is actually just out. It's not coming back immediately. So I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. Is it the losers first? Yeah, all those losers, as Trump would say. There's losers like Fabiano and Iturrizaga. Losers, so sad. Okay, I'm gonna play knight f4 to hit the bishop on d5, maybe take the pawn on c2 next move. Now it's perfect. See, he played h3 g4. He opened these holes on f4 and h4, and now it's just very bad. Yeah. So he goes rook b1. I'm just gonna take his knight because I can remove his knight. He can't remove my bastion. So now I go here, maximum pressure. Very, very hard to play for my opponent. Let's just take. Mogadishu is better than Florida. You know, it's funny you should say that, you guys, because I was also going to say, I was thinking about something last night. I was going to say that, you know, Magnus, myself, and all of us top players, I do, you know, we are the best players at chess for a reason. But, you know, I wouldn't, anybody who wants to say that we're like super like special, or we should be treated like we're great geniuses or whatever, like that's total nonsense. Like, we're only the best players in the world because we've been in the right circumstances. We've, you know, we've had like the right circumstances to study chess, play a lot, all the resources, whether it's like our background, our families, and everything else. And you know, at the end of the day, like I guarantee you, like if kids like in Africa had chances, you'd probably have like a top 10 player come out of Africa if they had the right background, if they had the opportunities to play tournaments, study chess a lot. But unfortunately they don't. So yeah, anyone who says like, yeah, Florida's you know, Mogadishu is better than Florida, you're literally out of your mind. People who complain in the US should frankly just shut up, in my opinion, because we have it so much better than so many parts of the world. Okay, I'm gonna go knight h3 and try to bring the knight back towards the center of the board. So that's my other hot take of the day. Yeah, go knight f4 and attack the bishop. Common Hikaru W. It's not profound, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, let's play c3 here. Okay, I've got a chain of 3. I could take a pawn here. Now he goes knight f5. Now this is the other danger about playing the Caro-Kann, is why I don't like the bishop f5 lines, is because if you're a little bit careless here, like knight h3 is a little bit off center of what you know, because this guy clearly doesn't know that I can put the knight on f4. He misplays it right away, and now he's going to lose because all his pawns in the center are very weak. Yeah, he takes. I will just take. So I'm going to show you guys, like his center is broken here. His pawn chains are completely broken. And now I go bishop to d3, angle the pawn. Both these pawns are very weak. Everything is super soft because he no longer has the base, which guards everything. Yeah, so anyway, didn't I just complain about the power outage? Yes, you guys, I complained about it, but I didn't complain about it in that kind of way. So anyway, all right, back to the chess. Before we get too far off topic, great position here. I should be on my way to a victory here. Yeah, I wish I could castle, but I can't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna activate the bishop, target the queen, pawn supports the bishop. A lot of pressure here for my opponent to deal with. Now I'm gonna hit the queen again, and he can't keep his queen on this lane to guard the pawn. A lot of trouble here for my opponent. Now I will take the pawn, and this just gets worse and worse. It goes from out of the frying pan and into the fire, because now he's going to lose the queen, and you never want to lose your queen. What's the source of power here? Nuclear or coal? Actually, I have no idea. I actually literally have no idea. I've never thought about it, but I'm guessing it's probably nuclear, but it is Florida, so it could be coal. He goes rook f8. I am just going to play queen g5 here and castle. Yeah, castle out of the center. I have a queen for a rook material advantage. Now I'm just going to bring the bishop back to guard the pawn. So let's play bishop f3 here. Rook on f2 very weak. I should be winning pretty soon. He goes knight f6. I'm going to play queen to e3 to take the rook on f2. Let's take with a pawn, undouble our pawns, play queen e5. If it's coal, you would smell it in your outlets. Make a check, play c4. I haven't smelled coal. Not that I smell my outlets. That's kind of just why would I smell my outlets? Oh, FPL ended coal in 2021. Okay, let's go c4. Smelling the outlets. You have to be a special kind of weird to do something like that. Let's play rook e1. I've never even thought about doing that. Like, yeah, let's take the pawn with check. I guess I'll take the rook and make a checkmate. Let's keep going. Yeah. Okay, let's play e4 again. Okay, now the opening I played as a kid was, of course, the classic Grand Prix attack with knight c3 and f4, maybe knight f3 and bishop b5. Most normal chat conversation. Yeah, You can smell it, but sometimes you have to clean out the outlet before. Why would you clean out the outlet though? Because can't you get like electrocuted if you do that? Like, isn't that, it's like classic thing as a kid where it's like your parents tell you don't stick your finger in the socket because if you do that you could get electrocuted, right? So why would you do that? Anyway, let's play bishop b5. I play d3, connect the chain. Bishop is free to be developed. Now here I'm gonna go queen e1 and queen g3. I thought that was actually true. I'm gonna go queen e1, queen g3, try to attack with f5 and bishop h6. Oh, they're messing with me. Okay, I just know as a kid they literally like, that's one of the first things your parents tell you is like, don't, it's like, Tommy, don't stick your finger in the socket because you could get electrocuted. So I'm gonna go f5, just open up the scope for the bishop on the long diagonal. But maybe you guys are trolling, I don't know, I don't care, so whatever. Okay, goes bishop f6. I think I'm gonna play bishop h6 here, put pressure on g7. Yeah, your parents called you Tommy, right? Exactly, thank you. Let's go bishop g5 and trade some bishops. Bishop h6 was actually just cheese. It wasn't a good move at all. Is there a way to get online notification on the kick? You should be getting them. If you aren't, that's not great. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, a big shout out to nearly 3,000 you guys who are watching on this fine Wednesday morning. Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Hope you're doing well. If you're working remotely, whether you're at home, whatever you're up to, hope you're having a good day. Why are so many streamers changing from Twitch to Kick? I think a couple of reasons. I think Kick is offering some kind of hourly rate. You hate your Christopher, don't you? No, I don't hate it, but I don't use it. So I think the reason is because I think there's some requirements, but you can get a guaranteed hourly rate that you get paid. You're not 100% reliant solely on subs and ad revenue. I don't know the specifics obviously, but I think that's made a big difference. Also, I think for a lot of streamers, they feel like it's a chance to branch out, diversify, and try to do something that's just a little bit different. So yeah. So he goes to f6. I can play knight e6 and fork the queen and the rook. Let's go knight e6 here. Thank you to Pete or Pella Jusul for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. I just taken again, I'm up material, so now I'm just gonna play simple chess, put the rooks on the open file, play knight d5, etc. But I think mainly, yeah, so it's like diversifying. Why not? It's a chance to do something new. I think for a lot of streamers, once you've been in the industry for a few years, it starts to become monotonous, it starts to feel boring and all these other things, and so a change of scenery, some freshness, it does mean something. I'm just gonna go a3 here and move the rook back to, or actually I can just take, sorry. So let's trade and go from there. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate using Christopher, but I've never used it for most of my life. I mean, there was one period that I did use Christopher, which was specifically when I was at college. I wanted to be anonymous, so I didn't really want to be known as like the chess guy, because being a nerd is not very cool, or at least it wasn't cool at certain times when I was growing up. So so like when I went to college, I actually did use it, but that's the only time that I ever used Christopher. Otherwise I've never really used it. So that's the bottom line. The only thing I find annoying, and I mean, I'm sure someone who actually is fluent in English and Japanese could explain this, is that like for my brother, for example, he has the Japanese first name and then like the American middle name, whereas for me it's the other way around technically. That's the only thing I find annoying. I'm gonna go for the ice skater here with queen d8. Family doesn't use it. No, never. No, basically what I was told is that like the reason is that for my mom has said this, is that this basically the sounding or whatever, if you have like with my name, if you were to have Japanese first and then American middle, it doesn't flow or something, is what she said. Like it doesn't flow together, whereas with my brother, for example, his name is Asuka Matthew, that's his name. He basically that flows, but my name doesn't flow in the Japanese to American order. That's what my mom has always said, but I don't know if it's actually true or not. I mean, obviously me, it's all Greek. Like it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Like I can't get it, but to someone who probably speaks like Japanese and English, maybe they would understand it if you're bilingual. Let's play e4 here. But yeah, I don't know the specifics. Anyway, let's keep going. We have time for probably 2 more games. I'm gonna play knight f3 here and play c3 and d4. It doesn't sound too good the other way around. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm gonna play bishop d3, bishop c2, and d4. Get the bishop on the scope diagonal here and build a big white center. This Kopek system is actually something that I think is quite reasonable to play at certain levels. Play d3, knight d2. Is your brother a German EVA pilot? No, my brother is he's a banker. Works at JP Morgan Chase. So he's a banker. Castle and play rook e1 and knight f1. So yeah. Do I know Japanese? No, I studied at college, and when I was much younger, my mom basically, that was purgatory. I think like once a month, or maybe it was twice a month, we had to go do Japanese on the weekend, like any proper Asian kid has to. So yeah, yeah, we had to we had to go like on Saturday for like 4 hours to study Japanese, but that was a long time ago. That's when I was very, very young. Let's go g4, knight h3. Your brother gives you money management tips? No, he doesn't. No, you're not actually. You know, one thing that I didn't realize is like if you work in finance like at one of the banks or something like that, you cannot say anything. Like the regulations are really, really tight. Now that's not to say that certain other things don't happen within banks and everything else, but yeah, the regulations are very tight. You're not allowed to say things. You need clearance to actually buy stock. So for example, you know, if I decide to look at, you know, Target, for example, and I'm like, okay, I want to buy Target stock, I can just go and buy stock. But at the banks, you actually have to get like 90-day clearance to do that. So it's like if you want to go buy like a stock and you work at a bank, you can't. You have to basically there's like I think it's 90-day clearance. You literally have to go to like some department and get approval, and then you still can't do it for like 90 days or something. So, and my brother is older than me. Yes, he's 2 years older. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to play on the king side. Now here I've opened up the king side because the center of the board is like a clogged toilet. It's not very the center of the board is like a clogged toilet. It's pretty disgusting. There's a better way of putting it. But anyway, let's just trade. I'm gonna go knight 6 and queen h5. Thank you so much to GM for the subscription. Thank you so much to GM. Do I hold any Rivian stock? I do not. I have been looking at Rivian and Nio lately because I feel like Tesla is a full-bodied stock. It seems pretty. I don't know where. I don't think Tesla can go up much more from where it's at in the short term. So I have been looking at them, but I don't know. I'm not a big believer. King h1, maybe rook g1 next move, but I have been looking at them. Now what I want to do is this bishop, it's very much in a bad situation, so I want to reactivate it on open diagonals. So I'm going to go to d1 and g4. What are my predictions about Microsoft? I'm going to go here first to connect the towers so I can play rook g1, because if I go rook g1 first, he can just trade. So I want to connect them, so when I play rook g1 and he takes, I can take back with the other tower. Yeah. All right, he goes queen f6. Let's play rook g1, trade the towers. But I mean I don't have a strong take on it either way. Now my opponent's defending extremely well. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy for him. I'm gonna go rook g5 here. He can't take due to the pin. I want to put my rook on f5 and really turn up the heat here with like pressure with the classic right triangle, pressure on h6. All three, the rook, the queen, and the bishop, are very, very active here. So these three pieces should win the game for me. For the rest of us noobs, just S&P. I mean, for 95, I mean, like 95%, absolutely. That's a blunder because I can trade the rooks. And now I win the pawn on h6, and with it, I win the game. Would I ever buy a Rivian? Maybe. I mean, maybe I would. I don't know. But I mean, my general attitude is that I have a Honda Civic. So because I have like a Honda Civic, it only has like 35,000 miles. I'm going to drive it until it doesn't work anymore. And I'm hoping that in 10 years, there will be an actual proper electric car that's like pretty good. That's what I would say. And by proper, I mean, of course, I have no idea about Rivian or Lucid or Nio, or I mean, Nio's not in the US, I don't think, but like I have no idea about them. Thank you so Ariana 1902 for the subscription. But like but my attitude is basically in 10 years you'll probably have proper electric cars that can possibly drive themselves, but will actually be they'll measure the mileage correctly. You know, all the little things will actually be working, unlike in Teslas, which are a joke. So let's go check and rook g1 here, and now I'm gonna go rook g7 and try to ladder him somehow, or mate him on the 7th rank. Yeah. Let's go check, hit the king, go queen e6. I'm just telling you, like I said this on stream before, maybe not here on Kick, but maybe on Twitch. Like, you know, it was maybe like last year at some point I went out to the Mojave Desert with my brother, and he got a car upgrade from Hertz, I think it was, and he was able to get a Tesla. And like literally we're out there driving, and the range was completely wrong. Like it said 200 miles, and then after about 10 miles it went from 200 miles down to like 120. Like that is not acceptable. I mean, period. That's just not acceptable. That the range, it says 200 miles when in reality it's like 100 miles. That's just not acceptable. Let's play knight f6 e6 d5 here. I'm just saying, you know, it's like, I'll give you an example. Like when my phone gets down to like 10% I'm like I don't panic, but you're like, what to do if you can't charge it. But with your car, like if your car is wrong, you're just screwed. You're actually screwed. Like there's nothing you can do. Benjamin Bach in chat talking about cars. Okay, Benjamin apparently bought his first Tesla recently. Let's play B6. Yeah, it's unacceptable for a car that's costing like 70 or 80,000. Like if the Tesla costs like 20,000 or like 10,000, like yeah, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like it's a cheap car, you know, I'm expecting these problems. But for, you know, if you're spending like top dollar for a luxury car, like that should not be an issue at all. Period. Yeah. Let's go h6, kick the bishop back. I'm probably going to try to trade this bad bishop. You'll notice that the bishop is really walled in by the pawns. So I want to get rid of the bishop because it just has no scope at all. So I want to get rid of his good bishop for my bad bishop. So I will trade the bishops. Now let's play queen 7, queen b7. I'm just saying if a Tesla is, because the problem is if I had a Tesla, I know what would happen. When I see like a 60-mile range, I'm going to start freaking out. It's like I freak out with my phone at 10%, but if I see the Tesla says like 50 miles, I'm like, uh-oh, I can't go anywhere. I better rush home and charge, because like you never know, 50 could go down to 10 or just like that. So anyway, yeah, I will trade the pawns here, and now I'm going to open up the file for my rooks. I can also stack the rooks. Again, very closed position, no open files except for one, and I'm going to claim the open file for myself with rook a8. So yeah, your spectator community is good. Thank you so much, appreciate it. We're going to be covering the Chess Champions Tour. It's going to be starting in about 14 minutes from now. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, knowing how I am about my phones when the phone gets kind of low and I can't charge it, like I'd have like massive panic attacks with like a Tesla. I would, yeah. Take and go like queen a6, queen c4. Yeah, I mean hydrogen fuel cell cars was a bust. I was actually maybe not 2 years, maybe like 3 years ago, I was actually looking at that I was reading a lot of articles on whether hydrogen stuff was possible, but it isn't unless the Matrix finally lets us know the truth, and cold fusion really is a thing. So let's play queen a6 and queen c4. Once we learn the truth about the Matrix and we've learned that cold fusion really is a thing, then hydrogen cars will be a thing. It'll be possible. Okay, let's go queen a6 here, and let's see what my next move is. Yeah, let's play bishop d8. The bishop also no scope, because like if you look at it, it's closed diagonal, no real scope here. Might as well try to use this open diagonal. Yeah. Unfortunately, as far as I understand, cold fusion is just not real, which is really sad. Really sad. Because if cold fusion was a thing, my god, like so many things we could solve. So many things we could solve. It's not even funny. So many things in this world. Yeah, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, let's go bishop a5 to hit the knight. Use the bishop on, because also look at his bishop, it's on an open diagonal. It's not doing anything here, so it's not doing anything. It's just staring at empty squares. My bishop, I've got it activated on a nice long diagonal here, and I should be doing quite well. What I want to do long term is you look at these pawns are the opposite color of this bishop. Bishop can't touch the pawns, and I should eventually be able to win. Yeah, I thought cold fusion is just not possible, was my understanding. Like people have tried to see if there's a way, but from what I've seen, it's just fake. It doesn't exist. I mean, maybe we'll find some way, who knows. Let's trade the rooks and play knight e4 here. Let's take the knight. Now all the pawns are on the light squares, and now I can jump with the horse to the center of the board and create a great bastion on d5 here. Goes queen b2. I'm gonna go, he's playing quite well actually. I'm gonna go knight d5. I've got this knight on the light squares. Great position here. Probably not great in terms of, he probably could save this game. He's very precise, but again, bishop e5 doesn't worry me that much. I think here I'm happy to play queen b5. I'm going to try to close the open lanes here so he can't activate his queen. Let's go queen b7 here. So let's go f6 here. And probably I'm just gonna go king h7. Let's go king h7. Queen d8. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to sneak in with my knight and my queen and checkmate the king. Let's go knight c3 and knight e2 and queen b1. Opinion on VTubers? I don't have an opinion. Everybody's got their own shtick. Hey, it's all good. It's a free country, right? Let's go check, and we're going to sneak in with the knight. Funny thing is, I think he's actually okay here. I'm threatening mate in Uno with queen g1. Oh my gosh, I have a beautiful win. Oh, this is disgusting, by the way. He has to play h4, only move to stop the mate in Uno. I'll show you guys. This is actually really beautiful. This is really, really beautiful. Yeah, he goes there. I check. He blocks with a bishop. Oh, he does it. This isn't right. Now he gets mated. Let's checkmate. But what I want to show you guys is there's actually a really, really beautiful win here, which is bishop h2, knight to g1 check. Now, bishop can't capture the knight due to the pin. If you go here, I just take g2. But after king g3, I have this nasty move, knight to f3. Pawn guards the knight here, so I'm just threatening to take the bishop and win the game. And if you take the knight, it's just checkmate with the queen and the pawn. King has no squares to go to. So after knight f3, it's simply GG, why not? Because if you don't take the knight, you lose the bishop. And if you take the knight, you get mated. So knight f3 is just an absolutely devastating move here that just wins the game on the spot. Because whatever, let's say you go here, I just take the bishop. And if you go here, I can just take the bishop. And if you take the knight, it's checkmate. So you just lose either the bishop or you get mated when you take the horse. So it's a pretty disgusting move. So yeah,